Hello everyone and welcome. We are in our final countdown for Stampin' Up! Sale-A-Bration, and we have just 7 days, not 7 full days, but 7 days left. It ends on Sunday, March the 31st. And so what I'm doing this week is just making some cards and projects with some of the Sale-A-Bration products. So anyway, I'm going to give a few of you a chance to tune in. Hey Debbie. And watch along, and if you have any questions, let me know. First of all, if you share on these Sale-A-Bration videos, I am doing a random draw for those who share to win one of the card making projects that I create. And for yesterday's share, it is Carol Peterson. So Carol, I'll be sending you this card here that we made in our live yesterday for the countdown, the final countdown for Sale-A-Bration. So anyway, I didn't even have any idea what time it was. My husband just came in and I thought, well, why is he in here? You know what? And I thought, oh, it's supper time. So anyway, I'm going to do a quick live and then we're going to go in, and it's almost 6 o'clock here in the Central Time Zone. So I won't keep you too long, but thank you if you share the video. I appreciate it, and we're going to get started. Now, I'm going to share this onto my group page, but while I'm doing that, I want to tell you that the card I'm making today is the type of card that we all need at some point, and those are sympathy cards. And they're much easier to create and have on hand before you actually need them. That's what I found in my experience, but it seems like I always catch up with myself and I need to make more. So I'm hoping to get a stack of these done today and tomorrow, but I wanted to share what I'm making today. So let me share this and then I'll turn the camera around and get started. In fact, let me go ahead and do that. Thank you for tuning in, and let me see. Let me flip and then turn you down. Here we go. All right, let's see. I think I might need to adjust just a bit, maybe. Okay. All right, let me see if I can zoom in just a tad. Rearrange here so you can see. This is the card we're going to be making. I'm going to share here, and we'll get started. Not keep you too long. So, all right. Okay, here we go. So today's card, I'm using a couple of stamp sets, and I wanted to use these neutrals, and I decided to go ahead and go with the black and the smoky slate. And so I am using a sentiment from the Itty Bitty Greetings, and I may use one of these on the inside as well. I haven't decided. I usually don't make the inside of the card until I know who it's going to. So this is a great set. It's a 2-case set. There are so many sentiments in it. And then we're using this floral image from the Painted Seasons stamp set, which you can earn for free in a bundle. And we're using the Country Floral Dynamic Textured Impressions embossing folder again today. So let's get started. I'm going to tell you what we need to make our card. I'm starting with a base of smoky slate cut at 5.5 by 8.5, a piece of basic black. This one is cut at 2.5 by 3.5, and then Whisper White 2.25 by 3.25, and that's going to layer on top of that. And then you'll need a scrap piece of each of these colors that we will punch to use for the sentiments. Okay, so let's go ahead and take our smoky slate base and fold it in half. Let's see if I can find my bone folder, and we'll give it a good crease. Now, I just thought about, you know, do I want to stamp on this to create a background? And then I thought, let me see if I can use this beautiful folder. And so here's the card front, and I'm just going to turn it and put just the card front on the inside of the folder, just like that. Try to line that up at the top. Okay, now I'm going to bring the Big Shot in, and I've got the platform and one cutting plate, and I'm going to turn this like this, which is not the usual way that we send it through, but it worked for me. So just proceed with ease. If your Big Shot resists too much, then you might want to try cutting a separate layer to go on top of your base and just do that single layer the right way. And so see, it's trying to tell me this is not right, but we're going to do it. It worked the first time. So let me roll it through. It's wanting to slide, but we're going to make it work. I know it can work. I think because I'm going sideways with it instead of straight on for the camera here. Okay, here we go. Get it going. Okay, so now I have that beautiful embossed card base, okay? But like I said, if your Big Shot resists it going through, because we usually put it through with this spine end going in first, then you can cut a layer the same color of whatever your base is, and then texture that and then glue that on top, okay? All right, we're through with the Big Shot for today, so let's set the base aside and we're going to start our stamping. Again, I'm using the floral image from the Painted Seasons stamp set that comes with the bundle of the paper and for free for Sale-A-Bration. And I'm going to ink it in Smoky Slate. And I'm not going to stamp off because I found it's light enough as it is. You know, I didn't want too bold of an image. And I'm just going to vary my stamping here where some of the image is off of the cardstock. And I'm going to put one right in the center. Just try to cover as much of your cardstock as you can. So I'm just doing little ends right over here. Okay, I think that's going to work. Let me see if I can get another little petal right there. And one up here at the top. Okay, all right, that is done. So I believe I'm through. No, I'm not through with that ink yet. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do again with that same floral image. So I have that, and I'm going to just adhere it to the top of this basic black piece. And use some liquid glue. And this is a very simple and easy card layout. I think the texture is what makes it. With the Dynamic Textured Impressions embossing folder really makes the card. And it has the sweet sentiment and just right for these types of cards. Okay, so now this is going to go just right in the center here. Okay, and so on the first sample I used the liquid glue because, you know, with the embossed card front you need to use an adhesive that will really stick. So I'm going to try Stampin' Dimensionals this time, and I'm going to be very generous with them because I want a good stick. Okay, let's try this and see how that works. And if you have any questions, let me know. Hey, Pam. Okay, let me pull off these papers here. I'm using more dimensionals than I usually do. Normally I would just use the 4 corners, but since we are going over the embossed card front, I'm going to use this. Okay, let's give it a good press. Oh, I like that. I like that how it sits up from the rest of the card. Okay, so now let's work on what we're going to do for our sentiment. First, I have a scrap of Whisper White cardstock. You can see where I punched and die cut. And I'm going to use With Love and Sympathy from that Itty Bitty Greeting set. And then I'm going to ink that up in Memento Black, which is what I like to use, the black ink I like to use for my sentiments. And just stamp. Okay, and then I'm using my classic label punch. If you don't have these punches, you could just use your trimmer and cut a thin strip of cardstock, probably a 1/2 inch maybe would do. So let me center that and punch. And now I'm going to bring my scrap paper back in. And I wanted a little bit of smoky slate over that, so I'm just going to stamp this floral image over this again. And you can't really tell it's a flower, but it does give it some depth, okay? And a little bit of color there in the neutral. All right, so now I have a piece of not basic gray, smoky slate, and I'm going to punch a 1.5 inch circle punch. And then I have the story label punch, which is one of the coordination products for Sale-A-Bration, and it's still available. And it is a great background punch or sentiment punch, and it goes really well with the part of my story Sale-A-Bration set. Okay, so I have all 3 of these pieces, and we're going to layer these. Okay, so let's take the circle and we're going to glue it to the center of the story label punch. Okay, and then before I glue this on, I'm going to take some snail adhesive and just run it over the back here. All right, so I have a little bit of stick there. Then I'm going to take my white not basic gray. Why do I keep wanting to say basic gray? Whisper White. And I'm going to make a faux bow, loopy bow. So I did 2 loops there, and I'm just holding it in the center. And then I'm going to do another one on each side. Okay. And then let's cut that. Move that out of the way. Then I'm going to you remember we put some snail there, so I'm just going to stick that on the back like that. Okay. And I think I'm going to put a little bit more liquid adhesive here so it will stick. And I'm going to center it here on these 2 punched pieces. Okay, I want this out and straight on like that. And then you can kind of spread your little bow loops around a little bit, but you want that to have a good front. And it's going to go over top, and you can decide by what you want of your stamped image to show, okay? And just, I want most of this flower to show, so I'm going to move this one a little up there. And so I need some adhesive on this side. And I'm not going to put adhesive here because remember we use dimensionals here, and it'll sit up just a bit. And I can probably put some dimensional behind that and it not be floating. Let's try that. So if you're just joining or watching the replay, thank you for tuning in. I'm having some special videos this week live, and then I'm also uploading them to YouTube. And with using some Sale-A-Bration products, since we are nearing the end of Sale-A-Bration. I cannot believe it. All right, so now I'm just going to take some of our pearls, and I'm just going to put one on each end. just like that. And then on the inside, what I would do is I would just take a piece of Whisper White 4 by 5 1/4 and glue that on the inside for the message. Okay? Okay, so there is our card for today. It's a sympathy card. It's one, I don't usually do videos for sympathy cards. I don't know why, but because it's a much needed type of card that we all need to have on hand. So try this idea. Use a floral stamp or something to just provide a simple background, and with a sentiment, you can just have the perfect card to send to express your sympathy. Okay? All right. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will see you tomorrow at some time. I'm hoping to go live earlier tomorrow. We'll see. Okay. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.